In what seemed to be the dead of the offseason, just days before media day and training camp, we got one of the biggest trades we have seen so far this year. And in case you don't know the full details, the Minnesota Timberwolves are sending Karl-Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks in exchange for Julius Randle, Donte DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick. And oh my god, this is a questionable trade from both sides, but I think at the end of the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves are the big losers here. And it's not really because of the fact that they are trading Karl-Anthony Towns and they're only getting Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo in return. It's because of a lot more reasons that we're going to get into here in a bit. But right now, I want to start with the New York Knicks because in my lifetime, I don't think we've ever seen the Knicks go so all in on a team like they have right now. Because after last year's conference finals run, a lot of people were looking at Julius Randle and saying, shit, I don't think they need him anymore. He was injured throughout the entire playoff run and they were still able to make it to the conference finals. And I guess it just kind of felt like his time was up. Like it felt like the team really moved past him. But then again, if you were a Knicks fan or a Julius Randle defender, you were looking at it and thinking, well, if the team can do this without him, then just imagine what they can do with him. And that is a very fair, take or opinion to have on everything there, but everything changed the minute they got Mikal Bridges. It just felt like he wasn't really a part of the team anymore, with the Villanova Knicks kind of being the new face of what things were like in New York. I don't know how he would have fit in that particular moment, not to mention the fact that Mikal Bridges was going to be playing the same position as him. It just seemed weird. And then there's the other side of things where they just didn't have a center. Isaiah Hartenstein is gone. He's now in OKC. And then Mitchell Robinson has sadly been injured for a long time and wasn't really looking to make a return until I think it was January. So everyone was just kind of looking at Julius Randle dead in the eyes, but I don't think many people expected him to be moved to the Minnesota Timberwolves for someone like Karl-Anthony Towns. Now we should also talk about Donte DiVincenzo because a lot of people have been viewing him as like the actual valuable piece here. Now, if you want to say that Julius Randle is worth less than Donte DiVincenzo, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe that you're fucking insane, but Donte DiVincenzo is a valuable piece nonetheless. He was making some insane shots for the Knicks during the playoffs last year, and it is just kind of that guy. He's always going to be running over the floor, doing everything he can, putting the most hustle and effort into his game. It's something that I really got to watch a ton when he had his short stint with the Sacramento Kings. But look at this quote right here. He basically says that he didn't like his role with the Knicks with all these moves that they were making and it looking like he was going to be lower down in the rotation. And I will say it is understandable that you don't want to be a bench player on a Tom Thibodeau Knicks team, considering you are probably going to get barely any time. But I think that this kind of shows that the Knicks were right in moving him. Like some people were saying like, man, I wish that they could have had this trade without Donte, but that is the right move because even if you do have the Villanova Knicks and it's all four of them and they're all happy and making, funny jokes in the post game, he's not going to be enjoying it. So for the Knicks, when you really look at what they're giving up without even seeing that they're getting Karl-Anthony Towns in return, just looking specifically at what they are giving up, this was a good move. These are two guys that, hey, I don't know how they were going to fit in during the entire season anyways. So I feel like this was for the better. I do like everything they gave up, but now let's talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and his situation with the Timberwolves, because I'll be honest, this title is something along the lines of like the Timberwolves didn't want to do this or they didn't have to do something like this, which is the truth. This wasn't a situation for the Timberwolves where they were like, hey, we are kind of done with the cat experiment. We don't see him fitting in with the team anymore. Him and Rudy Gobert don't work together. It's nothing related to that. It is simply money. And it's actually kind of insane that I just got done making a YouTube video talking about this, where the Boston Celtics are also kind of going in this same exact situation, where it's like, do you want to lose $80 million on a championship season just to win a championship, or do you want to cut costs, have a cost-efficient and friendly team that can make you some money, but also maybe not win a championship? It's the entire situation that the Timberwolves are going through. Now, the Timberwolves do have a ton more of like issues happening when it comes to their ownership and just their overall situation. I don't know much about it. I just know it's kind of a big fuckfest right now. But this was pure financial problems. A lot of people were saying that if they didn't get rid of Cat, they would have had to get rid of Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Naz Reid. I'll let you guys decide which package is more valuable there. You can talk about it down in the comments below. I read and respond to everyone. It really sucks that this is something that is going to be more common in the NBA with all these players making so much more money. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, oh, the CBA is becoming so much, so these players are making more. No, this is about like role players players wanting more money. Like, this is a very common thing now where we are getting basic ass players making way more than they should because the league is just inflated right now. So I do believe that this is a problem we are going to be seeing more and more in the NBA, but I just feel so bad for Cat because you know that just like us, he was blindsided with a move like this. I mean, he did know 5 minutes before all of us because he tweeted out about it. But for someone like him to go through all those different phases and eras in Minnesota, bring the team to the playoffs after 13 years, I mean, I can really respect that because being a Kings fan, I just imagine if the team were to do something like that to De'Aaron Fox, where he put so much on the line in his career for my team, did so much for them, and then we just ship him out like nothing ever happened. I mean, that's just a heartbreaker, man, especially knowing that the Timberwolves don't really care about what they're getting in return. They just care about the contracts. Oh, man, like that really does hurt. But I am happy, you know, to see him go to another contender. It's not like he's going to Detroit or anything like that. As for how he's going to work out in New York, that's where I get excited. Because while you have Mitchell Robinson out, you can play Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's not going to work, especially come playoff time. But when the playoffs are happening, let's just assume here that Mitchell Robinson is back. You can move Cat to the 4 and then play Josh Hart as your 6th man. That's a very good team. I don't know if you guys are really looking at this the way I am, but they just upgraded their center position, which is something that they've been struggling from, and they can now push him over to play the 4 or the 5, depending on how Tibbs wants to use him. I think that this is great. I don't see any problem with this for the New York Knicks. Whereas the Timberwolves are just coping by saying that they're trying to make it so Anthony Edwards will always have a competitive team around him. You just made it to the conference finals. That is a competitive team, but you still move it because of money, and you're trying to sit here and act like you guys did it for the bettering of him and his career, or like you're doing this so the team is more competitive. I'm sorry, but Julius Randle's expiring contract is not going to make you more competitive. Yes, you can sign free agents or whatever the hell you want in 2 years or next year. I don't know exactly. But that doesn't make you competitive now. There's no way that they make the conference finals anytime soon. I think that Cat is way more important than a lot of people think. Dante DiVincenzo, thankfully, he's on a team-friendly contract, or else he'd be gone too. So I don't really know what the Timberwolves are doing in this situation, and I don't really want to pile on them because I know a lot of people are kind of like talking shit on them, just saying like, why the hell would you do this? But it's true. The New York Knicks have made some of the best offseason moves we have ever seen this year from that team, and I'm just ecstatic to watch them this year. I mean, I might go get my Knicks jersey right now and pin it up on this damn wall. That being said, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this trade. I know it just happened last night. I'm trying to get this video up as fast as I can. I apologize for being so damn inconsistent. I was just on a trip, so I do apologize, but the videos are coming back more and more and more, especially with the season just picking up now. It was very nice to get that break. So I hope you guys did all enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, comment down below your opinions on this trade. I read and respond to everyone. I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.